I'm a huge fan of anything squid ink. Not only does it have a really striking, bold color, but it really has a nice, subtle taste that just amplifies anything you put it in. Today I'm gonna show you 3 of my favorite squid ink pastas. The 3 dishes I'm going to show you today range from very simple to slightly more process heavy. The first one is going to be a malunggay pesto, which is very easy to do and execute. The second is a fun play on like a squid ink adobo or squid adobo, that mixed with some noodles. Trust me, it sounds a little strange, but it's going to be perfect. And finally, the third one is kind of inspired by like a Malaysian sweet chili crab, which we're then going to put on top some crunchy garlic noodles. Today we're going to be using 2 variants from Ideal Gourmet Pasta. The first one is the regular squid ink spaghetti. What I love about this brand is that it's so transparent and they really have high quality products. This is made out of durum wheat semolina, squid ink, and water. That is absolutely all that is in there. So a very pure product. Semolina is great in pasta because it keeps that chew and that bite that you want from pasta to really have that al dente kind of experience. So even if you reheat it, it will still have that beautiful texture that you're looking for. So this is their squid ink variant. And then the second one is just squid ink with their regular pasta, but it's mixed together. So you really get kind of like a really cool color out of it. Everyone loves a good pesto, but I'm gonna make this slightly more Filipino by using one of our local superfoods, which is malunggay. All you have to do is sear it before mixing it like with a regular pesto. And for that, because it is such a simple sauce, I'm gonna be using the black and gold spaghetti from Ideal. It'll just make it look more special so that not only will it taste really good, but it'll also look really pretty.
Heat up some olive oil in a pan and toast up your malunggay. Place all that in a blender with lots of basil, some salt, and a handful of peanuts, grated garlic, and more extra virgin olive oil. Blend all this into paste and season if needed. There, this is the exact consistency you want. Bring some water to a boil, salt it, and cook your spaghetti according to package instructions. Place that back into your pan with 2 to 3 tablespoons of pesto depending on how intense you want this flavor to be. You can always add more if needed. And then obviously some grated Parmesan cheese, as much as you want. And once plated, you can always add more cheese if desired.
It looks so colorful and fun. The pesto is delicious. Pesto is probably one of the simplest sauces that you can add to a pasta. So having the black and gold just makes it look a bit more special, which is pretty cool. I've posted a few recipes where I made kind of like a squid ink adobo because it is one of my favorite local Filipino dishes. I like adding some crushed tomatoes just to kind of build the body of the sauce. And I think you should try it if you haven't yet. We're gonna take it one step further because I really want this to be just black and really aesthetic and really kind of different and unique to look at. So we're using the Ideal squid ink spaghetti, and then that's just gonna be mixed with a beautifully dark and rich squid ink adobo, quotation marks.
After cleaning up a medium-sized squid, cut them into rings a couple of centimeters wide, maybe 2 to 3 centimeters, and split the heads in 2. Heat up your extra virgin olive oil in a pan and cook some garlic slivers until fragrant. Give some color to your squid before adding a tin of whole peeled tomatoes. These are just so much more intense and flavorful than some of the local tomatoes that we have. Some tomato paste and some water. Simmer all of this until the squid is tender and the canned tomatoes start releasing some of their oil. Before seasoning with a little bit of vinegar, some soy sauce, and some additional squid ink if you want to get this jet black. Simmer all of this together for 5 minutes. Season your pasta water and cook your noodles. Go straight from the pot to the pan, taking with you some of that starchy water, and let the residual heat help bind the sauce to the pasta.
I love how the sauce clings to the pasta. Now, you didn't think that the pasta could get any blacker, and it did, because the black from the squid ink is just so intense. So it has the flavors of adobo, but the tomato sauce really brings everything together. So it's like a mixed match between like Italian and Filipino. So good. I wanted to keep it all black because aesthetically it looks really pretty. But if you want to add Parmesan, if you want to add like a basil chiffonade for just a little bit of pop of color, or even some chilies, you can. There's a local store here called Lay's where they make this really tasty, creamy, sweet, spicy crab, and then they toss in some noodles. So I thought it would be cool to make something inspired by that. So we're using the Ideal squid ink spaghetti this time, and that's gonna be made into kind of like a garlic noodle, you know, seasoned with some oyster sauce and some fish sauce. And then we're gonna build the sauce of the crab separately and then put the two of them together.
Up to you what kind of crabs you want to use for this recipe, just make sure that they're really full and fresh. So we're going to be cutting them and splitting them in two, cleaning them, removing the gills and anything you don't want to eat, and then crack some of the claws. Just look at that crab fat. Add some olive oil and a few tablespoons of butter in a wok, and by a few tablespoons I mean a lot of butter, with some minced garlic and some chili garlic sauce. Render this for a few minutes before adding your crabs. Toast all of this together, and then we're going to add some evaporated milk about 3/4 of the way up, and we're seasoning this with salt, and we'll toss in some kaffir lime leaves as well. So simmer all of this until the crab is cooked. This can go for anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes. Just simply cook your noodles. Melt some butter with your olive oil and toss in as much garlic as you want. Toast this until fragrant. Add in your cooked noodles, a teaspoon of fish sauce, 1/2 tablespoon of oyster sauce, and 1/3 cup of grated Parmesan. Really important not to over season it. So once you've mixed everything together and once you've tossed in your crab, make sure to taste it at this point and then decide whether or not you need more seasoning. Finish all this with some crunchy garlic. You can also add some sliced up scallions if you want.
Look at how insane this looks. It's on the sweeter side, but I think that's why I liked it. But it's still super creamy. And I think the squid ink with the crab, look at that. Look at that. Crab fat. So rich. Nice crab meat. Perfectly cooked. So that's it. Those are my 3 ideas on how you can use the squid ink pasta. I love being able to combine seafood and seafood, so squid ink with various seafood dishes. I think it just makes sense. But it's also a really striking dish that if you invite people at home, people will be so impressed and kind of wowed with the colors. And it's very different, very unique. So if you haven't tried it, I really hope you do. We're continuing this pasta series, so if you want to see more pasta dishes using Ideal, let us know. We have 15 shapes to explore, and we can do lots of fun dishes with them. So comment below what other types of recipes you want to see, whether they're traditional or not traditional. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.